You're watching E.T.N, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Share and subscribe.
Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob. This video, we're going to do our review for The Flash. Another stellar episode. Boy, the feels are just all over this episode. You know, Joe and Barry, Barry and Caitlin, Barry and his father. I mean, it's like crazy. You know, I'm really into the show. I'm really enjoying the show right now. It's just a whole lot of fun. It just seems to deliver on all cylinders for me personally. I have to say, though, to be fair, the ending of this episode was really anticlimactic. When you think about all the things that happened throughout the episode, it was just, you know, all this, all that, and they're running up and down the street, and then he just gives him a shoulder thump, and that's it. It's like, so it's a little anticlimactic for me, but, you know, otherwise, the story is what really I enjoyed. You know, I love Joe and Barry's father at the end, talking in the jail, and, you know, he finally confesses to him that, hey, I'm going to try and get you out of here. You know, you're innocent, you know, things of that nature. I'm paraphrasing, of course. And, you know, his father's just like, it didn't matter that you believed in me. What matters is you believed in my son. I mean, it's just like, this show is just really, you know, what makes it different from, like, you know, like Gotham, for example, maybe some of the DC movies. And, from what I understand, from what I've been told about Arrow, because that seems to be a dark and gritty show as well, from what I understand. This show, it has lightheartedness, but it's also got a lot of good storytelling. It's got a lot of good relationships. You know, I'm right now liking the relationship between Barry and Caitlin more than I am Barry and Iris. Iris is just so oblivious. For someone who in the episode said that she's very intuitive, she has no clue at all in these first few episodes that Barry's got a thing for her. So, you know, and then her and the detective, and I don't remember his name quite yet. I've heard it a couple of times, but, you know, I'm so focused on Joe, Barry, you know, Wells and that crew, Cisco, and, you know, that whole crew there that, you know, when he pops in, and it's not only that, he's probably my least favorite character right now. And it's not because he's knocking up Barry's girl. It's just, I don't know, it's just very geeky to me. Like, I don't know, something very dorky about him. It's just, he's probably the one character on the show I don't like. And, followed by him is, excuse me, I said Isis. Oh my God, Iris. I said Isis before, didn't I? That's horrible. You know, so those two characters are my least favorite. Her because she's oblivious, and him just because he's just, I don't know, I just don't like him. But outside of that, I mean, this episode is really good. So we have another metahuman, the Mist. That's what they called him on the show. Maybe his name is different in the comic. And, it's amazing how his body took on the elements that were in his presence right before he was about to get, killed, you know, executed, you know, cyanide, a sedative, and he harnessed those powers into his body due to the particle, explosion. And that's what he became. And that's how he was killing people. And he went out to exact revenge on those who were involved in him getting executed, including the judge. And boy, let me tell you, when he went after his last target and she realized who it was and she showed Barry and it turned out to be Joe, I was like, holy shit. I'm like, it's really going to get real here. And, I'm just a little curious as to why when the Flash went to go and save Joe at the prison, he looked at his father and he kind of shook his head. Like almost, I don't know if he was trying to hide his, any chance that his father would recognize him, but it was really weird because that's the same thing that the bad Flash or reverse Flash, as some are calling him now, that's how he is in the comic, who he's referred to, did the same thing during the night of his mother's death. So very interesting. I'm wondering if we're going to get to a point where Barry's father starts to see the Flash metahuman, as a villain versus his son, who obviously he adores very much. So that's going to be interesting to see going forward, because you could tell his father reacted in such a way where he almost recognized that, but he didn't have enough time to really watch him and study him to figure out who this guy is. But I think over time, depending on whether or not they get him out of jail anytime soon, I think over time his father is going to think that that's the guy who killed his wife, so which would make for a very compelling story arc. So Still not crazy about the whole villain of the week thing. I mean, that seems to be the fad right now. But it's really hard not to like the show because they're doing so many other things around that. You know, the continuing building relationship between Barry and Joe, which to me right now is my favorite parts of the show, is them two interacting. Even when they interact during forensic scenes where Barry's doing his regular day job, it's fantastic. And of course now the development with Barry and Caitlin, who at this point, you know, I'm not saying there's going to be something there, but they've gotten a lot closer. She obviously cares for him very much, and she trusts him. So she's already gained certain feelings for him, and not necessarily romantic. Just she was very guarded with him in the beginning, and now she's let her guard down. She's let him in, and I think that's going to bring them closer. But it's going to make it more difficult for them to work together because she's going to continually worry about him. Where Cisco is so oblivious to anything that can happen to the Flash, he's just enamored and in awe with all the metahumans and all the things going on. While Dr. Wells, we still see, is a very, very mysterious figure. You know, I've heard rumors about what he could be, but considering I also heard someone tell me that Wells in and of himself is not in the comic, it's going to be interesting to see what role he plays. You know, it's a really good show. I'm having a lot of fun watching the show, and boy, there's some scenes where I'm like, the feels, man. It's just like it's incredible. It's incredible, but it takes good acting to do that. You know, when you can go from a moment where it's lighthearted and it's kind of funny to a moment where there's some action, and you know, there wasn't a lot of action in this episode, but that doesn't mean that doesn't take away from it. That, in fact, I like the fact that there was so much character-driven elements of the show. And there was such a good story, and you know, you see some dots connecting here, and yeah, I'm enjoying the show such a great deal. I do like the acting of the young man who plays the Flash. I know his last name, I think, is Gustin, and you know, like I said, the two people I like the least is Iris and the other detective, her father's partner, Joe's partner. Those are the ones I like the least. And then the other part of the story that I like also was the flashback, going back and seeing how things played out that night from the perspective of Wells, Cisco, Caitlin, her boyfriend, and to see what happened to him. And you know, I do know that there was some news a couple of months back of who he's going to play. So we obviously see that when that comes to pass, we already know how it happened. So when he comes into the fray, we don't need an origin story because we already know the deal. And how's that going to affect Caitlin? How's that going to affect Barry? I mean, they've really got a lot of good foundation built for future episodes. And when they do bring in one of his more major villains, if it does turn out to be Caitlin's boyfriend, then hopefully it's not something that just lasts one episode. Hopefully it's something that goes for 3 or 4 episodes. Hell, maybe even the season finale. Or maybe the mid-season duo show with him and Arrow, you know. So, but I like where the show's going. I like the foundation they set. It's not perfect. There are some things about it that I hope improve. I hope we get some more villain story arcs, but I kind of wish that for a lot of shows these days. Less Iris, and less of her boyfriend, and I'll be a little happier with that. And just, you know, maybe a little bit more epic endings next time. This ending was a little bit suspect for me. It wasn't that great. You know, he's dodging a cloud of smoke for about a good 3 minutes, and then finally when the cloud of smoke gets tired, he gives him a shoulder thump, and that's the end of the story. So, and the cell, definitely keeping an eye on that cell below the lab. That's going to be interesting as well to see how that plays out. See if they start collecting these metahumans like it's a fucking the Ghostbusters containment facility, you know what I mean? Like they're just trapping people in there, and one day everything just blows to hell. So should be good. It was a fun episode. How did you like it? How do you feel about the Flash right now, this early into the season? Are you liking it? Do you not like it? I personally am enjoying it a great deal. So I'm looking forward to next week's episode. You can expect my review, and that's it. That's it for this review. This is Rob signing off for E.T.N, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Take it easy.
Thank you for watching E.T.N. Don't forget to comment, share, and subscribe. Join the nation's Facebook page to meet other subscribers or visit E.T.N's Facebook page and Twitter page. Links for all are in the description.